Hey darlings, I wanted to talk about mobilizing versus organizing and how that applies to the blockout. And for me, the concept of this being a digitine is much more interesting than it just being an action. It has become clear to me that a lot of people view this as something they're going to do, and then if and when their fave says anything, they unblock them and they go back to consuming as normal. And no, that's not it. That would be mobilizing. That would be getting people to do a one-time thing for a one-shot deal and that goes away and it's completely forgotten. And that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing anymore in any way. Anybody you've blocked needs to stay blocked permanently. They're done. For me, this is about organizing people to rethink the way that they engage with celebrity, period, and permanently. In my mind, the most successful outcome of this is having a large faction of people who have aggressively rethought the way that they engage with celebrity and have decided to do something different going forward. That means empowering more smaller artists. That means refusing to engage with even discussion of the pageantry of empire. That means making permanent and durable changes. That's organizing versus mobilizing, which is just doing something that is going to go away and that the system will figure out how to deal with better the next time. Hot take, the conventional wisdom is that holding a grudge is not a good idea, and I think there are plenty of times where holding a grudge is brilliant and actually exactly what you should do. It is not inherently harsh or cruel or carceral to say that there's some people who you don't need to fuck with ever again in your natural life. That should be something that should be on the table. Otherwise, there are no consequences for people's actions, and there needs to be natural consequences for actions. I'm not talking about going above and beyond. We're not talking about actually going and dragging any of these people out on the street. Yeah, for legal reasons, that was a joke, okay? But cutting yourself off from people who have done nothing with more wealth and power than human beings have ever had. Like, the wealth disparity in America is more than it was in France during the French Revolution. We have less time off than medieval peasants, okay? Shit is really, really bad. And because of all the pageantry of empire, because of the sports, because of the Met Gala, because of the celebrities, we think that we have things better and that we have more entree, perhaps, into the upper echelons, into like, oh yeah, we can look at them and see how fancy they are and aspire to that. And that's all part of the fucking game. We need to be soft-hearted and kind about the world we want to see and be more willing to be hard-hearted and uncompromising in achieving it. And again, I'm not talking about violence or about anything like that. I'm talking about sticking to the fucking plan. I'm talking about standing on business in perpetuity. Whenever you make a change in your life and in your heart that is going to be permanent, you are creating for others a view into a world, into a way that things could be done differently. And that is important. That is what needs to spread. I don't care about destroying the Kardashians. I don't care. I just don't care about them. I just don't ever want to think about them again, right? There's a big difference. I mean, let's face it, if you're thinking like, I can change them about like some millionaire or billionaire who hasn't yet done anything to help the world, like, honey, honey. So if you're just blocking people until maybe some of them do something and then like you'll forget about all this and unblock them all, don't bother, okay? You're wasting your time and ours. But if you're looking to actually support small artists and to change the way that we interact with like celebrity, period, and the way that we interact with art and the other things that we love, period, you're my people. So yeah, we're blocking corporations. We're blocking celebrities. We are blocking sports teams. And we're doing it for good. We are trying to make ourselves permanent holes in the boat for this system. Right? If someone tries to engage with you about the Super Bowl or the next T Swift concert series or whatever, and you just give them a blank stare rather than engaging, that's what we want. The blockout has to not just be on social media. This is a paradigm shift, not merely an action. We are organizing ourselves and each other for permanent change in the way we engage with all of these topics. We are not merely mobilizing to make a statement. You cannot change them. You cannot change these systems. You can only obviate them. And the great thing is, you can go on YouTube or Bandcamp or any one of a number of places and find wonderful artists that share your values and that you will be proud to support for the rest of your natural life. Remember, they don't own art. They don't own music. They don't own culture. They are taking something that we, the people, have created and inspired and captured it and then sold it back to us in a way that is acceptable to them. And lastly, this isn't a single issue thing because there's no such thing as a single issue thing. I'm going to make a separate video about that because everybody who we blocked so far deserve to be blocked for half a hundred other reasons as well. Okay? And something can be a flashpoint, but we can't let people get us to think that it's only for one thing, right? That's how they get us every time. They make us think that when we're fighting for civil rights, it's just for Black people or people of color. Or when we're fighting for what's happening in Rafah right now, that it's just for them or just for that one thing. It's all connected. It always is all connected. There is no separation. And that's the myth that you have to really, really, really get out of your head.